Welcome to Crypto OGs. Welcome back, guys. We're still here in Singapore talking 2049, second day, and now we have Mr. John from Telos. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, John, you have an amazing background working for Consensus in Bitcoin since 2012. What you were doing before crypto?
I just did an interview and I told him the story, but it's kind of like I was doing e-commerce.
Okay.
And so my business was that I would buy domain names and I would
Okay.
do search engine optimization.
Okay.
And then I would process credit cards on my website.
Yeah.
And this is like before Amazon.
Okay.
Or at least Amazon wasn't dominating like it is today. And drop shipping was like a good business.
Yes.
Okay. So I would take the order and then whoever the manufacturer was would drop ship and I would take a small commission.
Yeah.
So I sold many different things, including like garden seeds and garden products. And I had a company in the UK. And then one day they froze my bank account.
Oh, wow.
And they froze my credit card processing. And they accused me of selling dildos.
Dildos?
Sex toys. Which I wasn't. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wasn't. And they wrote me a letter. They said, "We know you're not doing anything illegal, but you're hurting our reputation." I said, "I'm hurting your reputation. You fixed the Libor rate. You know, they laundered billions of dollars of, all kinds of criminal money."
Yeah.
I said, "This is crazy. I'm not hurting your I'm nobody." Anyway, they froze my money for 9 months. I used to think, I got canceled, 12, 15 years before canceling was a thing.
I got canceled as well.
Oh, really? Well, congratulations.
Yeah, we're part of the club.
But it was like, suddenly no money, no business, no nothing. I was living in London. I had to get my father to Western Union me money to buy groceries. And that's when I discovered that a bank account is not a human right.
Yeah.
So anyway, it took them 9 months. And finally, they gave me my money back.
Oh, wow.
And during that time, I started looking for alternatives and I found Bitcoin.
In 2012?
Well, late 2012, early 2013, yeah. I found Bitcoin around that time. And then I became obsessed. I realized that this is the future because I had such a bad experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Such a shockingly bad experience. So then I moved to New York City. At the time, the best technical meetups were in New York. They were called the BitDev meetups. And then I ended up volunteering at the Bitcoin Center.
Okay.
Which is right next to New York Stock Exchange. Big fat Greek guy named Nick Spanos.
Yes, Nick. I know Nick.
You know Nick.
Yeah,
okay,
he's been in the show.
He's losing a lot of weight now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing good. So I worked for Nick. And there I met everybody, like all the
OGs.
Everybody. And then I found out about Ethereum. I was the fifth, maybe, or one of the first Consensus employees.
Yeah.
2015, and then I worked there for like 6 years, helping build Ethereum, and then I was one of the first lead investors of Polygon.
Yes.
Spent a couple years there, and these days I run my own venture fund. They say I'm like a top 50, top 20 Web3 angel investor. And then I do this Telos thing as well. So it's kind of like, it's been a long time now, 10, 12 years, doing a lot of things. And it's a lot of fun. It's still fun.
It's still fun. And obviously we are here talking, and you did an announcement today.
Yes.
Can you tell everybody, especially the Telos community, what is coming?
So for a long time, the community has wanted us to increase our presence on exchanges.
Yeah.
So we decided to build an exchange, and we were able to join the Binance Link program.
Oh, wow.
So the Binance Link program it gives you their backend infrastructure, accounts, sub-accounts, volume, the security, most importantly. And so you can create a front end and launch an exchange.
Okay.
And so you launch an exchange with all the volume and liquidity that you would have on Binance.
Yes.
Which is very important because that's very difficult to start.
Yes.
And all the security and everything else with your branding. So we announced the launch of Telos X.
Yes, that's a good name.
Thank you. Yeah. We're going to have the Telos token as the main trading pair, and building lots of different stuff that, when you look at like Base and Coinbase, it works super well together. So integrations with the Telos ecosystem. And that's kind of the news today. We were very fortunate to be able to join the Binance Link program.
And obviously you have a really deep background. You have seen it all. You've been through the good times, the bad times. And now The market is still like not that great, but then when you come to Singapore talking to 49, you see so many people, 30,000 people, and you start to meet up with the people that you met 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Can you remember those days in New York when you have the meetup? How many people were there back then?
Well, it's very, very small. And, the thing is, the market, the current state of the market, to me, it's always unbelievable because, I remember buying Ether when it was like, 30, 40, 50 cents.
Yeah, wow.
So when the price of Ether goes from 4,000 to 2,300 or something, I still can't believe,
Yes.
right? So I think time to market is really important, and a lot of the on-chain data supports that. There's less opportunities like before
Yeah.
in a short period of time for extremely parabolic growth.
Yeah.
But over the long run, if you keep building and doing good work in this ecosystem, it generally tends to perform very well. But yeah, like the size of this event is unbelievable. It's like almost too big.
Yeah, it's too big.
You
You
get lost.
lost.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
lost. And then also, it's a little bit weird these days because back in the early days, it was like, yeah, kind of this libertarian ideal, this cypherpunk thing. It was really not so much about, I don't know, like memes and, like shit coins and things that just don't make any sense, and silly marketing. But that's fine, whatever. It is what it is. This is just such a big event. I can't imagine like next year. Is it going to be bigger next year? Like I can't
Probably.
yeah, like I can't even imagine what that'll be like.
Then you a new city. Then you a new country
Yeah, exactly.
for the next event.
Yeah, I came down here with Raul, but what we did was we're on the fourth floor now, right? So we went to the third floor, and if you go to the wrong like area, okay, to come back here took like 10 minutes of walking.
Yeah.
Because you got to walk all the way back to the escalator, go up, and then walk all the way here. So it's like, if you go to the wrong floor by accident, this place is so big, it's like you're going to be 20 minutes late.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not as fast as blockchain. And let's talk about zero knowledge technology. You're very bullish into this. Give us any reason or any way that you're going to see that on Telos as well?
Yeah, well, that's one of the main things that we're trying to do is build ZK infrastructure. ZK is very important because once you understand what a fully provable system means, it's hard to use anything else. Likewise, when you really get into what self-sovereign identity means, it's hard to then use, Facebook or Google or Apple ID. And the idea is very simple. You can have a public key, okay, just like you would with an account or any wallet, and attached to that is attributes that describe your identity,
Okay.
your name, your birthday, etc. Okay, and then each attribute can collect an attestation, like a signature from somebody else, attesting to that being true about you.
Yeah.
Okay, many attributes with many attestations now form reputation.
Yes.
And you have the private key, so you own all of that. It's not like the Facebook box. Did you ever get a check from Facebook or Instagram?
Check mark?
Yeah,
Yes,
did they
I
ever
have.
pay? No, I'm saying, did they ever pay you any money?
Never.
Exactly. They use your data and your identity, and they sell advertising, and they never pay you nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You never got a check from them. Okay. Well, in the self-sovereign identity context, you own all of that because you have the private key. Now, why ZK is important is because that data doesn't have to be revealed. In other words, instead of having your license on chain, your driver's license, you can just have some ZK proof on chain that you have a valid license, that you are 18, that you qualify to rent a car, let's say. And then you can selectively disclose that information to someone, like for example, you go to rent a car, you selectively disclose that you have a valid license without needing to reveal your license.
Okay.
Okay? Or keep your license on chain. That's really important because these things get hacked all the time, right? Like you hear about it all the time.
Everybody getting hacked. Yeah.
And tens of millions, hundreds of millions of users, etc. Probably if you go on the dark web, your identity is on there somewhere for sale,
It
right?
is. Yeah.
And Then you can imagine new forms of social media where if the social media company is willing to pay you, then you can selectively disclose some information about your identity.
Yeah. Ah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which is the thing that the advertiser wants,
Yes.
right? So this kind of like reverse incentive model, once people understand it, um, you're not going to want to use anything else because, yeah, it's very valuable, the data that you produce. That's why Facebook and Snapchat and all the social media companies are worth so much money
Yeah.
because we volunteer to give them our data.
Yeah.
Well, what if we could keep having the same features, but we own the data?
Yeah.
Well, that means we would actually get paid, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like that part is enabled by ZK,
Okay.
if it makes sense, because you don't have to reveal. You can selectively reveal. You can selectively disclose or granularly authenticate.
Yeah.
Um, and only if you do that, then someone else can see the data,
Amazing.
right?
You have obviously a very big background, and now you are leading Telos, right? What is the biggest challenge that you have as a leader in a company of Web3?
You want me to be honest?
Yes.
Okay. The biggest challenge is it's like this isn't a secret. This is well known, but Consensus, we started out with a few people,
Yeah.
like I don't know, 10, 20 people. Then we went to like 2,000 people in maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we had to fire
A bunch
most
of
of them.
people.
Then we
Yeah.
had to fire like 1,500 people. So I think the biggest challenge is sometimes when the euphoria comes, everything pumps and people have a lot of money, projects have money, everyone's like euphoria, very happy. That's when, because we're young and naive, we make stupid decisions, like we hire a lot of people. And, so you have to be very, very focused. And when the euphoria comes, you have to have clarity of mind. The same is true because in our ecosystem, it's not like a linear growth,
Yeah.
predictable. No, it's like it goes straight up and then straight down and then da 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 da. And so it's it's hard to plan,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of treasuries, you don't know how it's going to go, and so the emotional balance and not hiring, especially unqualified people. There's a lot of people in this ecosystem who probably would never be hired anywhere else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so those decisions have to be carefully measured, especially depending on the emotional swing according to the market conditions. So I guarantee you, well, I shouldn't say I guarantee, but I feel very strongly, I don't know when, but Bitcoin and the altcoins will be in a euphoric state again.
Again.
I don't know when. And valuations will be crazy
Yeah.
and unreasonable, and projects will have huge amounts of money. And I don't know when, but I guarantee you in that moment, many of those projects will make stupid decisions
Okay.
and hire huge amounts of people, and then 6 months later they lay off, 1,000 people.
Thousands.
Yeah, that cycle, that's the hardest thing. You have to be smart about that.
That they are the thing. But what is the best thing?
The best thing,
Yeah.
I
That
think
made you
that
happy, like waking up in the morning.
I think kind of like the good part of this culture. So it's kind of like you meet people from around the world.
Yeah.
You go around the world. It's very international. It's very connected. Everything is like chill. Everybody's cool. There's no weird I don't care where you're from, who it's just like it's all very cool like that,
Yeah.
which is great. And then when it goes well, like when things are going well, nothing can beat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like if you're smart and lucky, I mean, you have to kind of be both. You can make a fortune,
Yeah.
and in a short period of time, and that's very exciting, right? I'm not saying just to talk about money. I'm just saying, in the context of upward mobility and opportunity, this ecosystem definitely provides that compared to, I don't know, you work 20 years for a big financial services company and you get little bonuses and
Yeah.
and then it sucks the life out of you and you stay in a shitty office and
Yeah,
like
Matrix.
exactly. So exactly, in some way you can break out of the matrix with this industry. It can go the other way. It can be a total disaster too, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad stories, but it's not boring. That's the
It's not
main thing.
boring.
It's
We're
definitely
never
not
bored.
boring.
That's what my wife say. How you do this? And you talk about obviously people make a good and bad decisions in the industry, but also there is so much liquidity and money injected into capital. But there is something that I read about you that you do very good is you have a philanthropy in the crypto space that you want to help people that need it. Can you tell us that side from?
Yeah. In 2014, when I was in New York, I met Fareshte. She's like my sister. She was born in Afghanistan, grew up as a refugee in Iran during the Soviet invasion
Wow.
of Afghanistan. Anyway, she ended up learning how to program. She got her computer science degree in Berlin. Went back to Afghanistan like 2009, 10. Started teaching at the university, and then the Taliban tried to kill her. So she, because she's a woman and she's teaching other women, you can't do that. These people are crazy. So she went to the U.S. as a refugee. I met her in D.C., Washington, D.C., Bitcoin in the Beltway conference in D.C. She told me her story. I said, oh my God. So anyway, we co-founded Code to Inspire. So it's
Code
her vision.
Inspire.
Yeah, it's the first coding school for girls in Afghanistan.
Wow.
We made the school 10 years ago. Um, and since then, we've put 600 girls through the program. We help them learn how to code, and then we work with corporate partners, big companies, and startups. So Google, GitHub, PwC, to startups, and we help them find jobs. And so we've put more than, I think, 400 girls through the program in terms of finding a job and getting paid. And that's really important because then the women earn more than even the men in the family.
Yes.
So now the men are thinking, oh, wow, she can do this. Because otherwise they're brainwashed to thinking, she just has to stay home. She can't do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like now the Taliban is back. It's terrible. They have to wear all the fully clothes.
Yeah.
They can't go outside. And the reason the crypto is an important part of it is because the women can't get bank accounts. Like you can't even leave the house.
That's crazy.
So we teach them online. We give them laptops. We give them, a good internet connection. They go through the program, and then they can work from home. And we send them Bitcoin, or stable coins as payment. So some of the girls, the average salary there is about $150 a month.
Wow.
And some of the girls are earning, like 3, 4, 500 a month, like legitimately earning that they're employed. So, they're able to take care of their families and have an opportunity. So yeah, it's been about 10 years now. 501c3 registered nonprofit in New York.
That's very noble.
And we're just working on it. And then of course we have a Bitcoin treasury.
Okay.
We're one of the first charities to receive Bitcoin donations. We didn't sell nothing. We haven't sold any of our Bitcoin.
Wow.
So our treasury is maybe $700,000-800,000 now.
Wow.
And that's all because of Bitcoin.
Okay, because that's
So
beautiful technology.
longest standing nonprofit that has been accepting Bitcoin.
Amazing. And I have three questions for you.
Yeah.
You have to choose either one or the other one.
Okay.
So Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin,
Staking or mining?
mining.
Centralized exchange or decentralized exchange?
That's a good question. If it's okay, decentralized, yes, decentralized exchange. Although if it's Binance, then centralized.
Centralized.
Is okay.
Well
yeah.
done. Binance family here.
Yeah, Binance is the only one.
And how people can connect with you on Twitter and obviously with the Telos?
Yeah. Chief of Telos, or just Google my name. The internet knows everything about me. I have a website, johnlilic.info. So I'm all over the internet. It's very easy. And yeah, find me on X or Telegram or whatever. Super happy to talk to people. Yeah.
Thank you so much, John, for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Officially, well, you are the crypto G that I have met today that has been the longest in the industry. So thank you so much for coming to the show.
Wonderful.
And thank you to everybody watching on Binance Live, on Binance Square. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.